Round 6 of the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship. Here's the lineup. John Bowen, the Shell Sierra on pole, and Dickie Johnson starts alongside. Mark Skaife in the Nissan GT-R out of 3. Tony Longhurst in the first of the BMWs from 4, and from 5 at 0.5. Good qualifying effort from Peter Brock. From 6, Alan Jones in the M3. From 7, Glenn Seaton in the Peter Jackson Sierra. From position 8, Colin Bond in the Caltex Sierra. From 9, it's Win Percy in the Holden Commodore. 10, Larry Perkins in the Commodore. 22, the back of the field, Jimmy Richards. They're ready to go racing in round number 6. What a view Jimmy has. Right at the tail of the field. The Shell team, the front row, they're racing, and John Bowen gets out smartly. Johnson picks up a quickie, and right up the inside comes Mark Skaife. Not on the grass today as they head up Bitchapave Hill for the first time. Brilliant start from Win Percy back in the pack, but it's going to be crowded up the front as Johnny Bowen has caught one out and one back from Dick Johnson. There's a little gap opening up on the inside, but Bowen closes it off. Former national champion leads it, Dickie Johnson, but look at the Nissan GT-R. All over the two Johnson cars, and a brilliant start from Tony Longhurst in the BMW. They come down to Sutton's for the first time.
Skaife was faced with a wall of Shell cars as he made his way to the top of the hill for the first time. He tried every which way to get around, but he dare not take to the grass after the last episode, so he finds himself in 3rd position from Longhurst, and then Peter Brock with newfound form, car 05 in 5th place, then Seaton, Percy and Jones.
Jones missing a gear coming out of the turn there, and Jimmy Richards also starting to sort them out at this stage. He's already passed about 5 cars as Queensland's Dick Johnson brings them up Bitchapave Hill. Teammate Johnny Bowen, the pole sitter in the 18 Shell Sierra. Mark Skaife is one back behind them, and Richards position 13 after 1 lap. How good was that?
And we're now starting to see 4 cars really tighten up here in a battle, and the other thing is that Win Percy's dropped away from the group slightly, and Jim Richards is getting closer to him. I think within maybe 10-12 laps or so, with Richards in 9th, you're going to see another red, white and blue Nissan amongst this lot.
I think you're right. Down to the late corner under brakes. Skaife trying to get the car straight and get up the inside here of Johnny Bowen. Can he do it? Bowen's going to pull across. No, Skaife will get the run to the turn, so Mark Skaife parts the Shell team. It's Johnson leading, Skaife in 2nd, Bowen in 3rd, right behind them Longhurst. And here's Jimmy Richards starting out of position 22, climbing the hill, going out after them, running 9th on the road at the moment and closing on Win Percy. Tony right on the tail now of Bowen.
Mark Gibbs incidentally coasting and looks like he's heading back to the pits in the GIO Commodore.
And there is Longhurst through, you just saw it, Longhurst has broken the trail, gets by Johnny Bowen. Can Brock do the same? Is the Nissan race cam. We're riding with Jimmy Richards. And there, one of the Corollas getting the blow by as he moves up on the tail of the Peter Jackson Sierra with Glenn Seaton at the wheel. Looking for 8th spot. And there he goes. Fantastic driving from Richards as they come down to the late corner. Now can Peter Brock get past Johnny Bowen?
Finnegan in terrible trouble over at the top at Dunlop. Rescues himself and gets on with it again.
Here on the inside comes Alan Jones, but Rocky gets out of there pretty smartly. He knows exactly where Jones is. And in fact, getting pretty close to our race leader. There's Alan Jones going through on the inside of Peter Brock. So he's already joined one, and up at the front, Dick Johnson is under a bit of pressure from Mark Skaife. They're heading up Bitchapave Hill, just ahead of this group.
All that dust that you can see is from Bob Pearson's product Commodore. He had to lose previous lap, and the dust still settling itself. Now Skaife's in a position to do something about Johnson. Coming out of the BMW.
To the late turn, tries to pull up on the inside. The two of them race side by side up to the next turn. Wheel-to-wheel stuff through the turn. Now watch the power of the Nissan. It gets up on the inside. Johnson almost got him pocketed in the slower car. Nothing between that. You saw the race lead taken from the Dunlop race cam. Mark Skaife takes the lead at the top of the hill. Johnson is back on the inside, but look who's there. Tony Longhurst splits the pair of them. The giant killer working away on the inside of Johnson, now on the tail of Mark Skaife as they work the back straight in, without doubt, the closest touring car race of season 91.
53.5 the last time through for this leading bunch.
And well, that looked like it was going to be a challenge for the moment on the inside. Let's see if Skaife can get away. Power comes into play with the four-wheel everything of the Nissan. Heading down to the late turn. Johnson hanging in with them. Now, can Skaife get away from Tony Longhurst? Down to the left-hander at Sutton's, Peter Brock, 05 car. Here comes Richards up on the inside. Now watch the acceleration here. Brock on the outside, Richards down the inside, and the race to the right-hander at the lake. Brock on the brakes, Richards fading the outside. Watch him cut back on the inside and try and get it straight for the run to the next turn, and that's exactly what he does. Takes Brock here and advances one more shot. Richards from the back of the field, position number 22. Now going out after Dick Johnson. A superb drive, this one. Oh, getting a tail out just a little bit on the exit to that. Longhurst.
This is a good indication of what a monstering this Nissan's giving us tyres. The car's starting to get more and more out of shape each time around, whereas Longhurst is keeping it dead straight.
The gap fairly constant then back to Alan Jones and then Jim Richards. They continue to set this pace. I rather doubt Richards can make it up onto the tail of Longhurst. And Longhurst is giving Mark Skaife a fearful time as they come across the line. This is where the Nissan gets away from heading up to the top of the hill.
Jones is only 4.6 seconds behind this battle. Now, I wouldn't mind betting that you're going to end up with a situation with 4 cars potentially battling for the lead. 2 Nissans, 2 BMWs. And I think the leader will be...
Here it is! Tony Longhurst down on the inside of Mark Skaife. Now, that will obviously get Skaife back wanting to take the lead.
Beautifully clean manoeuvre by Longhurst there. Cleaned up Skaife on the exit to Dunlop Loop. So, for the first time in a long time, a BMW leads the round of the Touring Car Championship.
If what you just said, Neil, is correct, and I have no doubt that it's going to be pretty close, Longhurst is able to get away just a little bit from Skaife. We would expect to see Jones haul in Skaife.
The stopwatch tells the story on the Nissan. Richards has stabilised at about 8.5 seconds.
Well, Jones has made another second in that last lap alone. There's the time that you saw for Skaife, 53.4. Team manager Fred Gibson.
Is AJ. He'd be loving this.
Yeah, after all the pressures of...
Just locks up one. That's going to let Jim close up a little bit. Locking up one going into the left-hander at Sutton's, but he picks it up nicely.
He's only 5.9 seconds behind the leader and his teammate Tony Longhurst, and he probably just added a second to that. But that's the knife edge the BMW's on. You've got to keep the thing so close to the edge of its performance all the time that one little mistake and it can really hurt. Other cars, it's possible to sometimes recover a little bit easier than this car, which relies on being wound up like a top.
Well, he won't crack it for a smile, but I think he'd be delighted at the moment. That's Frank Gardner, team manager for Tony Longhurst. Frank, like the good old days, son.
It's a long time between drinks, isn't it, Mike?
Yes, I can't remember the last victory in the touring car round here for BMW, but you've put the package together nicely. And I'll tell you what, young Tony's driving a treat here today.
Well, it's a long way to go still. If we win here, it's a bonus. I was hopeful of Lakeside next time around, but I suppose I'm like everybody else. I'm beginning to believe that the Nissans are invincible.
Dick Johnson in the pits, car number 17, change of rubber for Johnson. Led the race early and did it superbly.
Well, it was an experiment for these guys. They were running a new type of tyre, so it was a worthwhile experiment, certainly.
Well, he heads back out as Jimmy Richards heads up Bitchapave Hill.
What's the difference between him and Little Miss Muffet?
What's that, Dick?
They both got turds in their way. Well, I got Nissans.
Yes, you steamed away from the field. It looked pretty good there, but it didn't take long, I guess, for the tyres to go off.
No, and we're about almost in the same boat again.
Truly.
Yep. Well, I'll see you later, Mark. He's just sort of kind of had a bit of a...
That was Skaife.
Yeah.
He just shot off.
Yep. He's obviously got the same problem as most of the cars out here at the moment. His tyres. And the guy behind me, he's been looking after him like you wouldn't believe.
Isn't he? He's done a pretty fair job, hasn't he?
He's done a great job.
Well, mate, I'll let you concentrate. Thanks for the chat.
No worries.
And for the comedy spot.
Thanks, pal.
Last lap out. Good idea also to see the last lap board in these time 50-minute races. They head to the top of Bitchapave Hill for the final time.
Oh, it's going to be close.
It is going to be close, but Longhurst in the 25 Benson and Hedges BMW is going to break the Nissan stranglehold on this year's Australian Touring Car Championship. There's the gap. You can see it as Longhurst comes into traffic. Back of the car just a touch skatey as he came through there. Coming up on the Ashby car up on the inside. No trouble here. Oh, he holds him up just momentarily. Now picks up a gear and tries to race down to the late corner because Richards will close in this part of the circuit. 2 corners to go. Round 6 of the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship. David and Goliath. And I'll tell you what, it's going to be David's day here today. Last corner comes up, round 6, and we're going to have a win for Tony Longhurst in the Benson and Hedges BMW. Second is going to be Jimmy Richards, a superb effort from position number 22 in the field. Third, Mark Skaife. So Nissan second and third.
A new brand for 1991. Congratulations, Tony Longhurst. Tony, you, Alan Jones, Frank Gardner, the entire team have worked very hard for this, and finally a breakthrough.
It's hard to believe, isn't it?
It's fabulous.
I drove a fantastic race. It was very, very difficult.
No, you didn't.
I think we should have the Nissans off the back of the grid from now on, but it's great.
And congratulations, Tony. And Mike Raymond, what's that done to the point score?
Well, let's have a look. Jimmy Richards on 110 to Mark Skaife's 92, Longhurst on 66, Alan Jones on 40 and Bow on 30.